Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Raven Maureen, and this is my weekly vlog where I share snippets of sewing and also a little bit about my life. So on Valentine's Day morning, we went to this restaurant, which is LV's, and we had Valentine's Day breakfast. Joe had to go to work that evening, so we celebrated in our own way. A little bit about LV's. This is probably one of the nicest restaurants in town. The chef has been featured in the New York Times, and if you ask me, they're probably well on their way to getting a Michelin star. We ordered a really good Southern breakfast. I had basically bacon and grits, but this was covered in coffee grinds and it was so delicious. And Joe had a chicken biscuit with a side of grits. If you ever come to Jackson, Mississippi, I highly recommend that you make it to this restaurant specifically. So the next day I started working on my lady jacket, and this is my Chanel inspired lady jacket, which I have a full sewing vlog dedicated to this very project right here on this channel. I will say that I did get some feedback about not sharing how to install the lining on this jacket, and a couple of you guys seemed a little upset about that. There is an actual sew along, step-by-step sew along at that, for this specific pattern, which is McCall's 8370, and the purpose of my vlog was really to share the unique steps and process that I took to make my lady jacket. Also, many thanks to so many of you who recommended that I use the magic erasers to get the red dye off my sewing machine. It worked like a charm. So on Tuesday, I packed up a few orders, and this month, my Black History Month pattern weights and my pink pattern weights have been extremely popular. And if you have a moment to check them out, the Black History Month pattern weights actually are free shipping this month, and I'm going to extend that out a little bit further into March, just in case there were any people that didn't get a chance to take advantage of it during the month of February. But either way, these have been really popular this month, and I really appreciate the business, and you guys have no idea how much this really keeps my family going and actually keeps food on the table. After packing up those orders, I did finish my Chanel inspired jacket, and once again, you can check out the full sewing vlog on this channel. I'll link that below for you guys. Then the next morning, I worked on more orders. I hate to say it, but this month was such a cluster being a business owner, a small business owner. And so I do rely on Amazon shipping for my epoxy resin. And unfortunately, they were severely behind. And because of that, it put me severely behind. And so I'm so grateful for the business, but I'm actually really grateful for the patience of all of my customers who were impacted. You guys were amazing for just totally understanding. And it's times like these that I do like to be transparent about what is going on. And it does help go a long way with that customer satisfaction and whatnot. So yeah, thank you guys. On Friday, I did some work for Design Group, and so I spent some time uploading some videos that needed to be uploaded to our YouTube channels and whatnot. And if you're new to this channel and you're not really familiar with who I am, I also work part-time for Design Group, which is the parent company over the Big Five commercial patterns. On Saturday, I decided to start working on my denim project. I've been talking about making the cargo pants from this pattern for a long time into a denim version. Back in the fall, I did make a khaki version, and those are now a little too big on me. So I actually scaled this pattern down, and I went from a 24 to a 22. After cutting all the pieces and setting up every single machine in my house, I pretty much started adding the interfacing to the pieces for this. So I did get my denim from Hobby Lobby, and it's more like a stretch denim if I had to really be specific. But I did set up my brother machine for the top stitching. My Janome machine has the regular stitching for denim, and then my serger has serger thread in there as well. So basically, working with denim, I'm using 3 sewing machines, which is a lot, but it's also very helpful, and it helps to streamline the process in my opinion. So just to give you a little step-by-step of how I do this process with 3 machines, first I make my regular stitch on my Janome machine, and this has matching blue thread in the upper and in the bobbin as well. And so basically I make my stitch all the way down. This is part of the front pant leg. Next, I head to my serger where I finish off the edges. That way I have a nice clean finish on the inside of my jeans. Once that's done, I follow the instructions in the pattern and I press the seam to one side. Then I head to my brother machine, which is my backup machine slash Old Faithful, and I do my top stitching. And with this machine, I do widen the stitch length because it has a different stitch length than my Janome. And so the top stitching for this I put at a 4.0, which is not necessarily a basting stitch, but it is a wide enough stitch to avoid any sort of bunching or any issues with tension. And another pro tip for you, I actually only thread the top needle with top stitch thread, and I use a top stitch needle, and then my bobbin is actually with regular thread. And this is also to avoid any sort of tension issues that I may have. I'm not gonna lie, I needed a break from making my jeans, so we decided to take Blue for a walk. So on Wednesday, I went to work, and honestly, my head wasn't in it. I'll be very truthful with you. This was the day before I had to leave to go to the quilt festival with my mother in law, and all I could think about was everything that I had to pack, everything that I still had to do. And honestly, this was like the first day at David's Bridal where I truly lost my sewjo. Like, I struggled to just turn the sides in or take up the sides on this bridesmaid dress. It made no sense to me how much I struggled with this dress. I eventually took a walk outside and just kind of like tried to clear my head, checked into my flight, and just tried to relax and think about other things, but I really struggled. Also, just a side note, I have been bringing my backup machine to work lately because my machine at work has gone down. And when we're not fully staffed in the room, I'm able to use another machine. But today just wasn't one of those days. And so I think this just added to like the stress. So yeah, despite all of my issues and woes, I actually managed to get the sides together. And yeah, I hope she loves it. That's all I have to say about that. Thank you guys so much for watching. So as you probably already guessed, I will be documenting the Quilt Show Festival, so definitely be on the lookout for that video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!